You know what I've been doing lately before I go to sleep? I start stretching. Maybe I should do it also when I wake up, but I'm doing it before I go to sleep. After I get to work, after I get home from work, I stretch a little bit. Stretch my back, stretch my legs. Is it doing something?
I love how we're getting into older folk thing, but I find it so insightful because I'll be honest with you, we didn't even speak about this like this. We didn't even think about it like this. But me on my own side, parallel to you doing this, I've been also stretching, but in the mornings after I wake up.
Yeah, I think that's a better idea or the better way of doing it.
Right, but don't blame yourself. You're at least doing something. And then after I do the stretchy in a little yoga mat that I put in the floor, then I go and do an hour walk.
Okay. Nice.
Now, why is this important? After your 30s, you need to keep your articulations not cracking, but oiled up. How do you oil them up? By stretching, by keeping mobility, so that when you're older, you don't have to go to Walmart in a little, electric wheelchair, which is fine, but I just would prefer not to. If I can help it, although I don't know, at this rate, if I continue to eat mac and cheese and pizza, it is possible that I still end up in a little electric wheelchair.
Well, but at least you're doing something.
Yeah,
and that's the important part. It makes you feel better in your head.
Makes me feel better. And the most important part of it all is that we want to welcome you to the Broski Doodles podcast, the best podcast in all of the land. It's your boy Kiko Flow, Kiko Cervantes. And with you like every week is me. And Chef Maurice from San Francisco, the land of the free, the home of the brave, the domain of the versatile man, and the friendly Orientals, of course. All right, so I wanted to ask you about something that has been on my mind. Sometimes when I'm alone, I'm at home, I go into the internet, right?
Wow.
And I start looking at like different rabbit holes that I want to go into, right? But I poke my head in and I'm like, is this a rabbit hole I want to go into? And I do a little licking. I'm like, is this the hole I want to get into? And then eventually I find a hole that I want to get into. And then I get into it like a little rabbit. And
How long do you spend there?
In the hole? It's been a few days. I've been watching a lot of videos on this. And it's about the MLMs. So MLM is short for multi-level marketing. It's also called direct selling, and it's also called, quote unquote, some people say, pyramid schemes. So this is all these businesses that the way they work is instead of their products being sold on stores, instead they're sold by ambassadors whom they don't really want to sell their product, it seems, most of the time, but actually get other recruiters that are below them selling the products. So which ones are, common ones like Amway, Herbalife, Tupperware, Mary Kay.
Pyramid schemes.
Yeah, so pretty much what some people might consider a pyramid scheme, allegedly. Apparently this world is filled with a lot of legal action, so this is all allegedly. But yeah, I mean, have you heard of these? Do you remember back in the day having friends come up to you? I mean, normally the way that this would work is you get a random text from somebody like, hey bro, what's up? I haven't seen you in a minute. Hey man, I've been really thinking about, ways that we can connect and like, make money and do great things. Next Saturday, I'm going to have like a little party. You want to come through? And I, like a fucking retard, will be like, oh shit, maybe there's going to be babes there.
Babes, like hot babes.
I'm like, what? There's a little party?
Not Babe the Pig, right?
Those two go. Yeah, you're gonna have Babes the Pigs too. But I'm talking about fucking Francesca from whatever, from the school that you go to that you've been liking for a minute. She's gonna be at that party. So you're like, hey, for sure, Giordano. That's your friend's name, right? Giordano. His dad is from like Italy and his mom is from Turkey. Hey, Giordano, yeah, I'm coming through, bro. Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, we're going to make great things. You get there on Saturday, and as soon as you get in, it's a little weird, right? Because like there's no like party vibes. When you get to a party, there's party vibes, right? Like there's maybe a little strobe light. There's like loud music. There's a little food over there. You can see the bottles of liquor. Maybe there's somebody in the bathroom already that's sounding like... There's party vibes. I cannot describe it to you. You gotta feel it. But you get into this party and there's no party vibes. You know what is there instead? There's a white
Mark,
board with like markers.
I was gonna say marketing options.
And then once you get there, they tell you, "Oh, guys, I've invited you, right? Because I really love you guys, and I feel like you guys are amazing people and entrepreneurs, and I wanna tell you guys about a great opportunity. There's this product that we have here that it doesn't matter what it does because we don't really want to sell the product that I want to offer you guys. But in reality, what I'm offering you is the opportunity to sell this product to other people. But in reality, I don't even want you to do that. I just want you to get more people to be distributors for this thing that we don't end up selling to nobody. Do you ever have somebody come to you and wanting you to, offer Herbalife to lose weight?
I have been. I have been.
Okay.
Yes.
How did you feel?
Like, you're wasting your time with me, bro. Get the fuck away from me.
Right,
Fuck away from me.
but did you feel a little insulted at times?
I mean, sure. I wasn't that desperate for money back then.
No, but what I'm talking about is that like with the Herbalife one, they put an extra thing on top of it, which like, oh, you don't want to get into this? I guess you just want to be fat your whole life.
Oh, they make you feel like shit,
Yeah, they shame you.
right? Because they try to target the fatties.
Yeah, if you look at Herbalife sellers, it's a lot of the fatties, and they never lose the weight.
They never lose the weight. I did lose weight when I did a little Herbalife.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, but not much. I mean, look at me.
No, I mean you're looking cute as fuck.
Yeah, because you only see me from here.
But did you know about this world? I mean, we're pretty much the way that it works is that at the end, nobody really sells none of the product, and the people at the top, the very few, get the money from the fees and the monthly purchases that all the ambassadors have to make in the bottom. So at the end, there's no really sales. It's just that the fucking distributors themselves buy things because you're required to every month, and then you end up with a whole garage filled with, I don't know, Mary Kay
Boxes of
or whatever cream. So, do you know about these things? Have you seen them before? Have you been offered any of these things?
I don't remember if we talked about it in the Spanish podcast or in English, but there was a period of time where I was looking for a job when I was way younger. And then I went into this pyramid scheme, basically. They're like, "Oh, you're very good for this." I'm like, "Are you sure?" Because I hate people. They're like, "No, no, no, you'll do great." And the whole idea was of me selling knives.
Little
Like,
parenthesis here. You've just set a red flag that I've actually studied because I've been looking at documentaries and different interviews and authors that talk about it. And one of the main things that these people try to do is they tell you, "Oh no, no, you'll be a great salesman because I see it in you." But yeah, go on.
You're born for this. Yeah, I think the whole idea of like selling door to door and you had to sell knives, and I'm not sure this is for me. No, 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 you're great. You have the spirit. You have the je ne sais quoi. And but yeah, I think that's my only real closeness to this, and a little, people approaching you with the Herbalife bullshit. But no, other than that, no.
So pretty much like there's these two books that I want to read. I haven't bought them yet, but I've been looking at the authors and seeing interviews from them. One of them is called Ponzi-nomics. Ponzi, like a Ponzi scheme, is the same as like a pyramid scheme. Ponzi. It's coined Ponzi because of Carlos Ponzi, an Italian American that was one of the pioneers in this way of fraud. So one of the books is called Ponzi-nomics by Robert L. Fitzpatrick, and the other one is called Selling the Dream by Jen Marie. And they go into different types of MLMs, is what they're called. And like there was a recent one that I don't know if you knew about it because you're in the TikTok world, but it was a brand of leggings, and it was called like Lulu Row.
Lululemon,
No, or Lala Row. Lala Row.
Lala.
Yeah, so what it was like these leggings, right? And the way that you would get into it, and you're able to share. So if you can find them and you can share them, we can show them. But what it was is like this. There's a documentary on it on Prime, which is the one that I saw. But if you would get these leggings, you will actually get into the distribution of it. You will need to pay a monthly fee to be part of the distribution program, and you will need to buy like thousands of dollars of leggings. And at the end of the day, they never really could sell them all. And even when there was like a big boom in TikTok because people would share it and they would want like different prints, these are very tacky sort of leggings, right? Like very ugly, really. But there was just a boom because there were different prints and people wanted this print and the other one. So they actually could have been a successful thing and not a pyramid, but they just cared about having more and more distributors. And like the thing that you learn when you go into it a little bit deeper is that if a product is good enough, you don't need to have a bunch of distributors. You need a few of them. And if you are a distributor, you wouldn't want to have more competition by getting more distributors under you. You would just sell it yourself. So that's the part that I don't get. So yeah, this is the leggings. They're called is it Lala Row?
LuLaRoe.
Lula Row.
LuLaRoe.
Lula Row. So yeah, you can see. I mean, this is what you will find in the lower class of Venezuelan neighborhoods. Um. So
Yeah,
yeah,
the prints are not good.
you get what I'm saying. So
Have you seen the leggings that apparently make your butt look juicier?
damn, no, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it
I'm
was all over TikTok for a
I,
while.
I'm never looking at things like that myself. So, but
You
anyways,
haven't
yeah.
seen
So
those?
no, I haven't. But I mean, this is the thing. If there's a product that's good, then it should already be available through Amazon or their eBay or any online store. If you need people to go and sell it to you directly and then get you into getting the product and selling it to somebody else, then is the product even good? Because normally products sell themselves. You don't need anybody. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, if you have a contact with a distributor of LuLaRoe and they're giving you lower price so that you can sell this to other people, wouldn't you just sell all the fucking merchandise yourself to make the most money? Unless nobody really buys it and really the business is getting people below you to join as a distributor and you make money from their purchases of leggings that nobody's ever gonna buy and they're never gonna sell.
So what do you do with those? What do you do with the overstock? I guess that's what you would call it, right?
Yeah, the
Does do you know if
oversupply.
do you know if they kind of like sell it in the black market or just wear
Well,
a
I mean,
shitload of fucking
it's not
leggings?
drugs, right? So it's not like,
No, but
but what they do
right.
do, I mean, what they do is that they end up selling it for mad cheap to just get away, get the clothes out, and just leave the business. And what ends up happening is a lot of them just lose a lot of money because they got in the business where there's no really market for it. Like it comes a point where they had like 100,000 distributors, and it's like, yeah, how are all those people gonna sell this clothing to so many people in the world? There's not enough people in the world that would buy it, so it failed.
Mm.
So, anyways, I thought it was very interesting, and if you have interest in this type of things, there's a lot of people speaking about it. Like I said, the people I listen to and that I found to be very reasonable is Robert L. Fitzpatrick. Ponzinomics is the book, and Jane Marie Selling the Dream, and it explains different. And Jane Marie also has a podcast called The Dream, which is available on Spotify, where she speaks to people that were part of this. Systems. They say that it's very culty like, right? You're like in this cult, and if anybody tells you like, oh, but aren't you spending so much money? Are you even making money? The organization will tell you, oh no, they're just trying to like bring you down. They don't know what they're talking about. So a lot of it has to do with like a mental gymnastics where they're trying to make you feel bad. Like let's say, like for real, the statistics say that like 99% of the people that get in it don't make money and
Mm.
lose money. So only 1% of people make money. So most people are gonna lose money. But when they're losing money, they don't want to get out of it because they make them feel like, oh no, you're not making money because you're just not doing it right. You need to get more involved and more,
Gotta
active
get it
on it.
out there.
Yeah, spend more money. And it's harder and harder to get out the more you spend because it means that you're accepting that you failed and that you were blinded by it. And that's hard for people to accept. That's why it's hard to get out of these things as much as it is to get out of a cult. Because it would mean that you are accepting that for so many years you completely fucked up. And that takes a lot of balls and courage.
Have you seen? I don't know how you feel about John Oliver, but I don't know if you've seen the. Actually, he had an episode because I remember watching it on the multi-level marketing that exists.
I remember it, and I thought it was really good.
Yeah, they always he always has very good. What are they called? Like segments, like long segments about.
I mean, John Oliver,
certain things.
he started with that show very well. I think it's called, what is it, like
last week tonight.
Yeah, last week tonight with John Oliver. He started off with really good ones, including that one with MLMs. He did one on the World Cup, but then a lot of what he does now and for a while is very politically driven. So to me, it's become boring because I can't trust him anymore. Because now I know he's very politically leaned. So because of that, I don't love him as much as I used to. I think he's great, but he's just too. He shouldn't really get into politics. And for a long time, he would just, go with the script. So that part I didn't like. But the MLM segment he did was really good and explain exactly what happens. Explain exactly that, there's a lot of communities in like Latin neighborhoods that get affected by this because it's people that have ignorance about money and business and they think that this thing is really going to make a killing for them. And it isn't. And a lot of people lose money. So it's a pretty fucked up business. They have it now mixed with like insurance. So there are MLMs that sell insurance. And even though there is a product that they're selling, because they work like an MLM, system top down, what ends up happening is that these people are always just interested in getting more recruiters rather than learning the product and selling good insurance to their clients. So it fucks up any sort of business. At the end of the day, man, economics is not a secret. It's been studied for a long time. The way that products work and the market works when a product is good, it sells on its own. And these days, with the easiness that we have to transport and do commerce around the world, it's never been easier. It's never been faster. It's never been more convenient. Yeah, like there's no reason for an MLM. The only reason, like back in the day, you would have people direct selling is because there wasn't internet, there wasn't phone lines. So sellers would go city to city with a fucking truck filled with things to sell and go house to house selling an encyclopedia or whatever the fuck. We don't need that anymore. So,
do you think that Amazon it's somewhat
Amazon?
Like that? Amazon.
Is Amazon what?
If it's something or somewhat similar to what you're saying or what you're talking about,
like a pyramid scheme?
Yes and no, because I mean, I don't know how it works, so that's why I'm asking. But I think there's people like you and I who can have, I don't know, a bunch of leggings that could sell through Amazon, and you can have your own page or whatever. Isn't that something somewhat similar?
No, I think it's actually quite the opposite. I think what you're describing is somebody having a product that's of value, putting it in a store online and selling it like any other thing that sells online, right? There's a demand for a product and there's people that supply it, and then they're able to make that transaction. In the case of, Rura or LuLaRoe, it was like, yeah, I mean, they're buying the leggings, but that's not even the main purpose. The purpose is getting people in to pay $5,000 for a beginner's package, which includes a bunch of hundreds of leggings for them to sell. You got what I'm saying? Like, why would you say that it's Amazon? It's similar.
I don't know. It's just like the whole idea of like having a whole, let's say, a container of stuff that you can't move, having Amazon as your main source of selling this product. But yeah, I mean, kind of now that I'm talking about it, kind of makes sense that it wouldn't be a scheme, if you will.
No, I mean, if they're shitty enough where nobody wants to buy them, it could be that nobody buys any. But I think that you're not doing anything wrong. I think that's how commerce works, right? Like you have product, you put it online, and people buy it.
You can buy Herbalife through Amazon.
Yeah, because now it's become to the point where like now this is a thing, right? Herbalife is still very
Alive.
pyramid-ish like, but it is true those products are consumed by some people. So what I'm guessing is that whatever you buy through Amazon, the account is a person that's a recruiter, and it's like, look, I'm going to recruit people, but I'm also going to sell some of it through Amazon and make some money there too. So anyways,
Don't get
yeah.
into pyramid schemes.
Yeah, don't get into any MLMs. Be honest,
It
do good work, good value, do valuable work that actually creates value.
it's uh, it's funny because even though we kind of know what Herbalife is about, you know, they still have some relevance. Like they are sponsors of like a certain soccer team. Or I remember Messi was a sponsor of it, or an ambassador of them
Yeah,
for
and
a
even
while.
Cristiano Ronaldo
Cristiano
at one
Ronaldo.
point.
So it's funny because they get into this, and they already. I'm guessing they have some sort of idea of how it works and how things are distributed, and they still decide to be the face of the branch or this company for a while.
Yeah, that's how much money
It's
they make on it. But I mean, it doesn't make it right. But anyways, in the case of Herbalife, they're able to continue doing business because they were able to prove that at least 30, no, what was it? That at least 70% of their income comes from actual sales of the product to final clients. And then 30% is from sort of their pyramid like scheme of commissions and things like that. So I mean, I guess they have morphed a little bit into having more of a product. But there's other things. At the end of the day, the way that all these things work is if there is a product, it's usually a very overpriced product that they just use as a token to justify the whole recruiting program, right? So, for example, there's one called Mary Kay, right? You've heard of them. I think it's like makeup and shit. So, yeah, I mean, they're selling a product, but it's like a makeup that would have cost half the price at any other store. They sell it for double, and it's just a lot of premium so that there's a lot of money enough to pass on to the people at the top. And whenever you get into reunions where people want to sell these things to people, they're not really trying to sell the individual makeup or eyeliner. They're trying to sell you, oh no, you should sign up and become a distributor. Like, I mean, think about it this way. Don't you think it's stupid if you got a connection with Mary Kay and you get the makeup on the low, right? You get a special price and you go to a party and people want to buy. Wouldn't you find it against your own interest to offer other people there that like the product and buy it to become distributors like you and have the same access to the lower price that you get? Like, wouldn't you think that that would be hurting your own interest?
hmm. I mean, it could, it should, it would, it maybe.
It
Just say
does.
it does. I'm just saying random words at one point. How do you think they're just reaching for the vulnerable? Ver-
For the vulnerable.
Vulnerable,
I mean, they are definitely, they're hunting for the prey that's like,
most
somebody
in
that,
need
yeah, most in
or
need. I mean, and
most
the
in
worst part
desperate.
is that a lot of the people that get in it are people that are on their last straw, right? They're like, they got
Mhm.
$1,000 left, and then somebody comes through like, hey, bro, I'm gonna teach you how to become a millionaire, and then they lose the rest of it to these motherfuckers. It's pretty sad.
I have a guy who I've been friends with since we were kids. And the other day I went on Facebook and I saw he had a story. So I'm like, oh, let me see what his life is all about. And he was talking about like all this crypto shit. Um, like, oh, send me $1,000 and then I can send you 20,000 back in like 4 hours.
He
And it
was
makes
offering
you
you this.
not me, but he put it like in his stories, in his Facebook
Mm.
stories. And, and he kept putting messages of people who did this. I'm guessing with him. I want to be, fair and say that it was approved, and then you can see the messages from the people like, "Oh, thank you, my bank account just went from 1,000 to 20,000," and so it's got them, got them.
Well, I mean, I've said this before. I don't want to hurt any of the listeners' feelings that like crypto, but to me, crypto is the MLM for guys. Is a Ponzi for guys. So MLMs normally go more for women, although it's not exclusively women, but it's about 85% women. We're talking about Amway, Mary Kay, Tupperware, Herbalife, LuLaRoe. There's it's a whole slew of them. But for bros, for guys, is the cryptos. That's the
The crypto
MLM.
world.
It's a little different. The rules are a little different, but essentially it works the same way. There's some at the top that get all the money from the newcomers that are hoping to get rich. They all get fucked and railed, and all the money goes to the top, to the to the ones
Yeah, I
that
remember
control the whole thing.
he had one of the slides. It's like, oh, if you send me $1,000, I can translate that into $10,000. So the more you gave him, the more you would get back. So if you gave him $10,000, apparently you get, I don't know, like maybe 80,000. So it's
Guys, it's simple. The more you give me, the more I rob you. It's simple like that. Yeah, that's
and
not.
maybe he was hacked. I don't know. Maybe he was hacked. His Facebook was hacked. I haven't talked to
Yeah.
him in ages, so I don't know if it was truly him. But
Look, talk to me. You've been worried in some of the episodes in the past. Am I saying things that are a little too far? Are we speaking the right way? And we've never wanted to censor the podcast or hold back on certain words or hold back on any attitudes because at the end of the day we consider ourselves to be real and we want to keep that reality in front of you and everywhere we go. Now that being said, we did think, okay, I mean, is it necessary for you to like change the way you do your content so that YouTube can like it, for example? And I heard some good news recently. I don't know if it's gonna materialize, but Sucky, that's how I like to call him, Mark Zuckerberg. He went into Joe Rogan podcast recently, but he said publicly that he's gonna take off the censorship in Instagram and Facebook. Two things here. Oh shit, so you were censoring, now you accept it. And two, now you're feeling pressure, and I think people are finding out your social media platforms are becoming shit because now you gotta, you're fucking censoring everybody. And it's a double standard, right? Because you censor people that are trying to be funny, and then you hit them with a fact check on some jokes, but then you allow a bunch of videos of people fighting, getting hit in the head, animals killing each other, like a bunch of sensual, very, not cool, behavior. But then you make a joke. So now, hopefully, things are going to change. And I have been saying this for a while. We never wanted to censor the podcast, and we never will. But I have been saying for a while, there's got to come a point where even to YouTube, it would be in their interest to not contain or sort of hold back on how they expose different channels because of, curse words or whatever. I understand, you can only show it to people that are logged in with an 18 and over account. That's totally fine. But you shouldn't suppress it because it's not ad friendly. Because at the end of the day, the reason why we stopped watching TV and cable and went into YouTube is because we wanted to hear people speak the way that we speak and talk about the shit that we like, which sometimes might include a few curse words. And if that's enough for YouTube to not really expose that material because it's not ad friendly, I thought for many years this is eventually going to come and bite YouTube's ass because YouTube can gain from exposing shows that people want to see and that they're not seeing at the moment because they're being suppressed. Because I'm not saying that our channel is suppressed. It's probably the case that we just suck and that's why we haven't succeeded. But I do know that many shows that I've been watching are starting to bleep words and this and that. And I just think we should be able to get back to a world of YouTube where things are a little wilder. It's a wild, wild west. I understand there's certain rules, but hey, man, we're adults. People want to listen to curse words, and that doesn't mean you cannot put an ad. You should be able to fucking put ads. Like, my whole thing is like, who watches ad? Only people that are like family, friendly that don't say any bad words. No, like we're adults. Everybody is a little dirty, and we want to see that content. And you can put ads on that. So I think there's gonna be a revolution where ad companies are gonna sort of like take off the mask and say, okay, never mind. We're okay with putting ads not only on family-friendly content, but also on spicy content. And that's it. It's normal. Does that make any sense to you?
It does. Maybe we can say more stuff. Maybe we can say all the words that we've been suppressing for the past maybe 2 years or so.
Oh, so you're saying like this could be like for you, the way you read this is, or maybe I can get a little wilder now.
Maybe we can say more things.
I mean,
Maybe we can,
I was more referring to, oh, this is great because we can continue being who we've always been, and you know maybe we will be exposed more. But what you're saying is like, no, go even harder now.
yeah, harder and stronger. Damn. What are you? I don't know. What are you suggesting? Are we gonna get wilder?
No, I'm not suggesting we get wilder. I think we're wild enough. I was just saying, damn, it's pretty cool that maybe the tide is turning. Maybe the wind is going, is blowing the other way. Maybe the people that do the shit that we do will finally be left alone and allowed to reach the audience that wants to hear them. You don't think there's a lady in Iowa that's getting out of work. She's 47. She just had a hot dog from one of those gas stations, the ones that have been rolling on the thing for hours.
A hot dog and a black and mild.
Black and Mount. And she goes into her Spotify. She has a brother that's doing well, and he shares the family premium plan. And she goes into their favorite podcast. One of them is the Broski Doodles podcast. She starts listening to it. You don't think she's not like that's not gonna help her like get through life in a better way, in a more meaningful way?
How can we help her? How can we make her not eat so many hot dogs and black and milds? Do you think we could do that?
Black and Mouse are fire. Well, I mean, we can motivate, but at the end of the day, I think it's good for that person to know that she's got us here. Like she can listen to
disconnect.
You gotta disconnect sometimes, and she's like, "Look, I want to listen to, two Venezuelan dudes that speak broken English, and sometimes are a little spicy." That's the type of shit that gets her through the day. She works at a factory, putting toys together or whatever. She's like, when I listen to them, I in reality feel like, oh shit, I mean, my life could have been worse, actually.
Have you gotten into the map of where we have listeners? Do you
No,
know
not
if we got
recently.
stronger? Do you know if we got stronger in like Middle America?
Now, right now, I haven't seen the map of our listeners because, I mean, now that you get into it, I didn't want to get into it. We have lowered our viewership, so I didn't want to get into it. It's making me sad, but it's okay because we will always continue to do the podcast, and I want people to know if you're listening and you're one of the from day one, we love you and you're the realness, and you will be rewarded for that. But I do ask of all of you to share it, like it. You can actually rate it on iTunes and Spotify, and it really helps us because it tells the algorithm, hey, let me share this shit with some more people, and this way we can make this thing feasible at one point in our lives, and that way we can make it even better. But it will always be like this: no producer, just us doing our thing and getting
This
wilder.
is also a good outlet for us to kind of talk. We live separate. We live in different countries. So this is a good get together.
I mean, it is a way of saving the therapist. This way you don't have to go speak to a 22-year-old dumb bitch that just graduated from psychology and thinks she can fix you.
Damn, you're already doing the.
I'm getting wilder! No, but it's therapeutic. Like, for example, the last few years, Chef Maurice was a little suicidal. I didn't want to make it, public. Fuck. That word is very bad for the Yutuskis. Anyways, I won't say it again, but you were a little bit like that. And now, they do say that if you say that word, but it's about an uplifting story, then it shouldn't get banned. And it is an uplifting.
Okay.
It is an uplifting story because since we started making the podcast, those thoughts have gone away from you, and now you like to live and you like to experience the world day by day, like a little butterfly.
I only look forward to seeing you every week.
Okay. Fuck your
That's my
family. Fucking.
fuck everything. I'm only here to talk to you. I'm already
No, no.
counting down the minutes for next week.
No, but I mean, in reality, I know you say it jokingly, but in reality, when you're going through the week and some shit happens, you're like, man, I need to share this not only with Kiko Flo Cervantes, my homeboy in Madrid, but also with the world because this is your window to the world. And other people that listen can be like, hey, man, that shit does happen to me. I thought I was crazy. I thought I was the only one, but no, they go through that shit too. And the best part of it is I get to listen to the story from two guys that have broken English that have never accomplished anything in my life, so there's nothing more relatable.
Mm. How can we relate more to the people? I
Do
mean,
you
I
think
think we're very relatable
I
as it
mean,
is.
does it get any more relatable?
Two almost unemployed guys.
Going
Um,
through hard times, trying to figure out life.
what else? How else can we be relatable?
I mean, I think we already are relatable. We just need to convey it more to people so that they know how to connect. You know, like tell us like what's an anecdote of something that happened to you, you know, recently in the week, maybe in your new job, that you're like, oh man, this shit. Many people should probably go through this, like an incident at work or like you know.
No, the other day I went to the grocery store and I didn't have enough money on my debit card, so I had to return a bunch of stuff.
Fuck relatable.
Relatable as fuck.
Goddamn hashtag relatable. In these harsh times these days, when Biden economics is taking in place, thank God in a few days, Orangeman takes the Trump. The Trump? No, the
The
Trump is when
Trump.
you, the throne. The throne. There's gotta be somebody saying like, God damn, look at these people talking about Trump and they can't even speak English. No, but yeah, in a few days, or depending on when this comes out, maybe Trump is already in. And yeah, hopefully economics will get better. But yeah, with harsh times, you went to pay, didn't have enough. Let me return some shit. Little embarrassing, relatable.
Hmm. What else? Oh, I had to take public transport because I didn't have enough money for gas. Relatable.
Relatable, relatable. I like it. I like it. One thing that I do that sometimes makes me feel self-conscious. I'll go into a place, right? And before, like, I get a beer or something, I'm like, hey, so how much are the beers?
You
Because
asked beforehand.
yeah, like because I don't want to just order and then you just give me the bill and you kind of fucked me over. So I ask, and I always feel like a cheap steak when I do.
I feel like you can do that in the States. But in Spain, I think it's a little bit more cheaper. I don't know if it has gone up, but here you get like $8 per beer. And I think it's fair for you to ask.
I mean, I think I do it more in the U.S. because prices can greatly vary from
Very.
place to place. Here, maybe not as much, but yeah, I mean, I think that's relatable.
That is relatable. When you go to the restaurant, you sit down and you look at the menu, you see it's expensive, close the menu and leave.
No,
That's relatable.
I haven't done that one in
I
a
have
while,
done
but
it. I have done it.
okay,
Not
okay.
recently, but I have done it.
Making a nice little tent outside of somebody's house because you're now homeless and you've lost your job and your wife left you and take your kids. Hashtag relatable.
Relatable.
That happens. Some people, some of our listeners probably listen from a tent,
I mean,
and that's one
we're
of the
with you.
no, that's one of the magic things that technology provides is that even this person, right? Let's call him, you know, Jason, sleeping in the side of the road, has his little tent, little phone with Spotify, and he listens to the Broski Doodles, and he tells himself, hey, if these guys with broken English, right, unemployed, you know, nothing really to live for, can make it, then maybe I can make it out of the slums. Maybe I can stop doing, you know, fentanyl.
Relatable.
Relatable.
Now, this day of age, it's relatable to the fentanyl. Uh, I don't know. Anything you want to tell me? Anything I don't know that I should know
About like my personal
about
life.
you, your personal life?
Well, there was this thing that happened recently. I mean, I'm gonna tie it up to my personal life, but there was this news that I heard recently that in India they were able to, for the first time, have two people sleeping, dreaming, and then communicating with each other within the dream.
Okay.
Okay, and like I, for example, I've had a chain of dreams for many years where the dream is the same, but the scenario is different. So the city is different, the people I'm with is different, but the concept of the dream is always the same, which I'm being chased by some sort of like force, like either military or corrupt cops from Venezuela or like yeah, criminals or some shit like that, right? So I guess you never really think about how complex the dreams are and if they can mean anything. One theory is that it's just a bunch of information in your brain that gets thrown when you're sleeping so that you can kind of rest, but it doesn't mean anything. It's just like images pulled together for no reason. Like, have you ever had a dream where there was somebody there that was like in your third grade that's not even your friend, and you're like, why was he in that dream? Like sometimes you could just simply say, oh, it's just random things put together, or it could mean something bigger. And the fact that they supposedly had two people contact each other, which I'm very doubtful about how you even test that. Like, how do you know they contacted each other? Was it the case that one told the other a code and then the other proved it? Because how do you really prove they spoke to each other? But have you ever put more thought into dreams? Do you dream yourself? And do you think they have a meaning?
I have been actually, I had a dream not long ago. Now I can't remember, but I remember I searched for it. Like, you can go and kind of Google your dream. I think it does have some sort of meaning to it. I don't know if it's true or not. A lot of people dream like falling down or fear of heights. Something about the teeth, like the teeth cracking or falling off. That's also like some sort of meaning into it. Um, do they have that meaning for sure? I don't know. Is it there to scare the shit out of people? Probably. But I'm trying to look up what I was searching the other day that made me look for it, because I usually don't Google these things like the meaning of my dreams. But this day, maybe I woke up scared. Maybe there was something, um, and I can't find it right now. But uh,
Well, let me know if you find it. I mean, one of the things that I've learned is that when you're dreaming, right, there's like a chemical that's released that's DMT, and that chemical is like psychedelic. So it makes you
mm,
have like this tripping experience where you're like hallucinating and seeing all weird stuff of people combined in this dream, right? And like DMT is the same compound that's found like in different psychedelics, like in I mean, ayahuasca or similar ones, or like when people would lick a toad, like a frog, they lick a frog for the psychedelic things that it has. That's DMT. So whenever you talk about DMT, one of the most powerful psychedelic substances out there, they say that it's comparable, if not the same chemical that's released when you're dreaming, and that's why dreaming is so crazy. It's like a movie. It's like a fucking Christopher Nolan movie. It's like Inception in this bitch.
I found what I was looking for,
All right,
or the dream. So
enlighten
apparently,
us.
I dreamt about snakes being in my dream, and just looking through it on Google, there's a dream dictionary that you can go and
Mm.
and look for it. Um, it says snakes are enigmatic symbols that are commonly known for or to manifest in different ways in order to provide messages to the dreamer. Right now, again, I can't remember what the dream was about, but it seemed that it had to do a lot with snakes. The iconic images appeared in many different shapes, colors, known to bite, restrict, or even chase you. But what happens when you're seeing lots of snakes in your dreams? Maybe negative or positive elements. It determines whether it's either good or bad symbol, lies in the context of the dream.
Is
So,
it
I
is this
mean,
is this what it says?
yeah,
The Dream
yeah,
Dictionary? Yeah, so that's a fucking piece of shit Dream Dictionary. It says nothing. It's like if there's snakes, oh, it depends what the dream is about. I
yeah.
mean, fuck that. I mean, I'll tell you, I'm more of the belief that what we dream is just a burst of information that your brain has splashed together to give you like a movie for you to sleep and rest that night. but I don't think there's anything crazy like spiritual going on there. Now, that's what I think is the truth. Don't get that, don't get me confused. What I would like for the truth to be is that dreams are this powerful thing that uses our mind and communicates with ourselves in a weird ass way through the dreams, and the dreams have a meaning, and you can contact people through dreams. That's what I would want it to be. But I'm skeptical about it because I just don't see the proof in that. Now, I did have an experience back in the day. I think it happened twice in my life where I'm dreaming, and within the dream, I realize I'm dreaming, and I'm sort of chilling in the dream for a minute, knowing that I'm dreaming and controlling the dream, to an extent. And that is something that a lot of people talk about. I think it's called lucid dreaming, where you're dreaming, but you know that you're dreaming.
There's people who dream and while they're asleep they're crying. Maybe something happened in their dream, like, so that's like more of like a livid dream, like you said, and they can feel certain pain or excitement. I don't know. That's very enigmatic. Dreams are very. I mean, we don't know. Maybe it's a parallel universe telling us something. That's
Yeah,
what I
because
want to feel. I want
like
to think.
you remember we were watching this show Severance, which the second season is about to be out, and I'm gonna watch that. And they're sort of cut in half, right? Their work life and their normal life. What if when we go to sleep, it's like our severed self is going a little bit into the world of the other part of ourselves, and that other part of ourselves is trying to communicate to us through the dreams. But it cannot tell us, it cannot contact us too directly, so it has to do it in this weird way through the dreams. And every time you have a dream and it's very like, what is this? It's actually the other person that's also you in another dimension telling you, hey, do this, do that. Maybe telling you what coin to get into crypto to become a millionaire.
Do you think we'll ever get an answer to that?
No, I think at the end of the day, we will all die without any of these answers. And that is a sad part of life. But the happy part of life is that you can subscribe to our channel and also follow us on Spotify and iTunes, and stay tuned to what we do. I mean, there's clips coming out every day. There's never been more production and more quality coming out from the channel. And I would really appreciate if you have a friend that you would think you like this, share it with them. Post it around, leave comments, whatever you thought of it, so that we can continue to fucking push forward and make this shit gangster as fuck. All right, so you're repping the Inter Miami hat, right? That's the football team where Messi plays along Suarez and a few other players. Miami. When are you going back?
I don't know. Being unemployed. I'm actually employed now, but being having other things to take care of, going to Miami is not on my priority list right
your
now.
Future plans. Okay. No, that's fine.
Are you planning on going back to Miami soon?
No, not soon. But I always like going back. It's a place in my heart.
We always talk shit about Miami, but
I know
it definitely has our heart.
Yeah. A lot of heart. We love it. It is like a Latin America within the U.S. And it will always be in our heart. But it is what it is. It is a place. It is a place of savages, of fraud, and of cocaína.
I always hated this hand motion. 305. Like 305. You remember when we were in high school? There was like the
305,
07, fuck,
954, 786. All right. So talk to me.
If you wanted to do the hand gestures for San Francisco, the area code here is 415. So it's basically this, right? Two hands, 415.
Is that like a signal that you do to people around?
I don't know. I always felt that was stupid as fuck. I have pictures of you doing this shit.
What? No, I never did that.
The 07.
Do you think, the other day I was like having fun with friends. I was a little tipsy. Are you okay? I was I was a little tipsy, I was a little high, and I was just having fun, laughing with friends, and family. And then, well, not family because I was high, but I was just thinking, damn, is this it? Like, is this what it's all about? Like, this fun, like this good times? Because sometimes we get caught, in the routines and in the day to day, but we don't really look at the details, the small things. I know I'm sounding like, your aunt Marie,
Mhm.
but as you get older, you kind of realize that life is short, and I know it's cliche to say, but have you had more moments, especially I guess Christmas happened and I was with family and when you're in those like nice moments you realize, oh, this is what it's for. Like in your case, with your family and your kid and all this. Have you had moments like this recently where you kind of appreciate life more, or I'm just being, a little gay today? Maybe I woke up a little gay today, and that's fine. That's normal. That's valid.
That should be a thumbnail. We're being gay. I think at the end of the day, life is what you want it to be, right? As cliche as it may seem. But if you're in a setting where you're with your family, your friends, you're drinking, you're smoking, you're doing whatever you want to do, at the end of the day, that's what you want it to be. So that's what it's gonna make. That's what it's gonna make you say, this is it. This makes me happy. This moment right now is what I want to do or what I want to be. It sounds very spiritual. I feel like
Yeah,
very,
but I,
hippie.
I want you to get a little more into the into the meaty part. Like, have you had these moments recently, or because you're talking about me and shit, and I'm talking about you. How do you feel about life in the last few months? Christmas happened, New Year. Are you feeling more
It's
grateful? Are you feeling more resentful? Are you feeling more like, hey, fuck everything, man? I don't really give a
uh,
motherfuck.
fuck them pigs. The past couple months have been hard. Um, but when for me, just being at the park with my family, sometimes I just sit down and I'm like, this is it. Like I see my kid like running around. I see my lady, being happy or playing with a kid, and then those moments where you're forgetting any of your problems, or maybe you don't have a job and it's hard at that moment because financially you're not stable, but you're seeing the happiness or the calmness of those that you love, and it calms you down. And it's like, all right, everything's gonna be okay. We're going through a rough patch, um, but eventually we'll get out of it. Just how you manage it, or how you work to get out of that shithole that you're in. But you have to find the little things that make you happy to make it worthwhile. Because if you're only seeing the negative, only seeing the shitty parts, I mean, one day is just gonna drive you crazy, and you just want to drive off the cliff. But
Right.
you don't want it to get to that point. You try to get, those special moments with your family, with your friends. Sit down and take it all in. Because maybe tomorrow we're not gonna be here.
Because maybe tomorrow is not promised. No, but yeah, it is true. I think sometimes we can get very cynical about life, me included, and be like, fuck life, everything. But hey, you gotta appreciate some people maybe don't have all their limbs, and maybe they don't have all their senses, or they got some fucked up disease and shit. And if you don't, then be grateful. Whatever condition you have, then but if you can still live your life comfortably and have pleasures and shit, and then you should be grateful. I think gratefulness is one of the things that's very much overlooked, and I think people should practice it a lot because I think it does help with depression and anxiety, which is rampant in the younger
Mm.
generations, and I mean, and also in the older ones, because life is getting harder, the crisis, everything's more expensive, and unless you're balling, which I hope you are, I think a lot of people share this feeling. What's that?
Balling.
Oh, balling.
Do you remember there was a rapper who used to sing that
Yeah,
song? Balling.
balling. Mike Jones, I think. We stay
What
fly, no lie, we balling, balling.
the yeah, definitely lately since I started in the new job, I find, my job to be a getaway of, hardship. that I might be going through outside. Maybe it doesn't have to be with my family, or it's just like everything in general is, gas prices are up again. Going to the fucking supermarket is a hassle because, it's everything's overpriced again. So it's like, I need milk, but paying $6 or $8 for milk, I think it's a fucking joke. And maybe, it's, when I go to work, I focus on my job, and it kind of, takes me away of that hard moment. Um, you know, it could also be family stuff. Somebody in your family may be sick, or somebody in your family may be going through a rough patch as well. So going to work and getting your mind off of it, at least for me, it does help a lot.
I mean, that's actually something you should even be grateful for, because not everybody has a job that they feel that when they go there they can disconnect from the shitty parts of life, because the job in itself is the shittiest part in their life. So it seems that you have a job that I'm sure has also all its challenges and things that aren't perfect.
But it's not the place I work at. It's what I do that makes me take my mind off of it. You see?
Right, because you got to sort of be connected to what you're doing at all times. You know what? This is something that I actually find could help people, because this is something that I've also found on myself. Whenever you're doing an activity that needs all of your bandwidth, all of your RAM memory, then you're not able to think of anything that depresses you or that makes you anxious, because all your brain power is concentrated on that. So when you're in the kitchen, you got to be aware of everything. All your senses are focused on that. There's no brain power left to think about the problems in your life. And I experience something similar, for example, when I'm playing certain video games that take a lot of me, like Warcraft 3, where my mind is doing 1,000 things a minute. There's a certain calmness that I feel, even though like my girlfriend might see me play the game and she sees me like all tensed up. Even though I'm like looking tense, within me, because my brain and my body is only focused on this task that is multitaskular, it allows for me to have kind of like a Zen moment, right? Almost like if I was meditating, because my brain has no time, power, or bandwidth to think about any of the worries that I normally think about, which is the total opposite of when I go to sleep at night. When I go to sleep at night, my mind thinks about all the problems and all the worries that I have, and it has all the power there available to do that, because my brain is not doing anything else. And the thing is, you cannot do anything else because you're trying to go to sleep. So it's kind of ironic there that when you're trying to shut off is when your brain is actually open
Most
and free
active.
to think about all this shit. Yeah.
I've had to deal, like, the past 6 or 8 months. Recently I started taking like sleeping pills, so I could
Like
sleep,
what?
and
Like melatonin?
so I can disconnect for a little bit. But for a while, I was going to sleep and then waking up at 4 in the morning and then not going back to sleep, or not going to sleep until 4 in the morning and then having to wake up early because I have a child.
Right.
So it's those two that has been going on for a while, that I thought that I was going away, and then he came back. So I see what you're saying, and I've
What
been
came
there
back? What came back? The inability to sleep
to
well?
sleep because the overthinking is there. And it has to do a lot with anxiety
No.
and, a lot of.
I think it's a great topic. I mean, and it's also linked to the dreams and like having a good sleep, because sleep is one of the most important things for your health, along with good nutrition and exercise. Sleep is like the third pillar, and sleep is so hard. Like, there's people like my girlfriend. I think she's blessed with the fact that she can sleep very quickly, and she can sleep for a long time. And if she wakes up, she can go back to sleep. I'm the total opposite. It takes me a lot to fall asleep, like long time, because I'm thinking. And then once I fall asleep, in the past, I used to be able to sleep a lot. But now what's happening to me is that once I fall asleep, if I wake up at some point in the night, it is possible, if I don't go really back to sleep right away and push it through, that I actually stay awake. And that's something that had never happened to me before, and it's happening now in the last few months. And it's a very, sign of age. Because one thing that you see on older people is that they're always complaining that they can't sleep. And I'm
When I
worried because
was
that's the type of shit. That's the shit that I love the most about life. Like the number one pleasure in life for me is sleep.
overeat.
Overeat, over sex, over poop.
Ooh, okay, okay. Yeah, sleeping is it's definitely. Yeah, when I was younger, I would sleep until noon.
Right.
And that you would wake up and be fucking happy. But now it's completely the opposite. And then you wake up and you're feeling more tired, more anxious, more
Yeah. Everything
depressed.
hurts. So again, one good thing that I was recommending: you wake up in the morning, do a little stretching. It's gonna make you feel better, your legs, so that you don't crack too hard when you're going out there. If you're over 30, you need to take care about the skin, little creams.
When you wake up, do you stretch your penile?
Yeah, I stretch my panini and then all of my limbs.
Limbs? Well, if you stretch your panini, you can grow a couple inches.
No, I stretch my panini twice before noon.
Twice before noon.
Yeah.
Damn. So you must be a good.
No, it's just so you can think clearly.
Right, right.
You don't want to have
You drain off all the
yeah.
bad
You don't want to
juju.
have a juvenile panini going out there making you think all foggy.
That's why you drain the pipes, folks. Folks.
Folks.
Folks.
Folks. Yeah, so any other tip that you might have, like people that are listening. Oh, Kiko, by the way, I have a tip on how to live life better. Let us know. Oh, Kiko, one question. Are you guys like life coaches? No, we're not. That's fucking gay.
No, but if you pay us a good amount, maybe we can give you a couple advices.
We will never charge or become like a coach thing because that's super gay and we don't know how to live life. We just want to share our own experiences through life, and this way maybe you can learn from it and you can teach us something about your own experience. Write it in the comments. We're available on all the platforms, the illegal ones, the ones on the dark web, and which one else?
Napster.
We're on Napster, TikTok.
TikTok's been good. It's been moving a little bit. Keep watching us there. Leave us comments. Follow us. Maybe send me a DM.
Also, if you could rate us on Spotify or iTunes, it really helps. It tells the algorithm, hey, these dudes are kind of cool. Share it around. If you appreciate what we do every week, leave comments, leave critiques even, and share it with your friends. Like if you have a little sick friend that is like borderline autistic, share it with them.
I thought it was more like a sick dude.
Well, that too. If you have like a dude that maybe consumes too much cannabis, recommend it to him. All right. Well, Chef Murray is directly from San Francisco, the land of the brave, the land of the versatile, and the land of the friendly Orientals. I'm coming from Madrid. Love you guys. Take care. Please keep it simple. Please keep it happy and appreciate. Be grateful because this is all we get. Only one life.